The finals are over. But a story that upstaged the NBA Finals from the high-speed sports wire, the chatterbox, as Kevin Durant, he's on the move again. Oh, boy, Kevin Durant. We've become Rhodes Scholars at Kevin Durant trades. So if you have not heard, if you were out doing stuff on Sunday, you didn't pay attention, we learned the Phoenix Suns are saying bye-bye to the Slim Reaper, unloading the aging Kevin Durant to the Rockets for a trade package that includes Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 overall pick in this week's draft, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 second-round picks. So using Maller math, that's an 8-for-1 swap. 8-for-1. Suns got 8 players, well, really 2 and then 6 other draft players. And the trade will be formally completed when the new league year begins. I always get excited about this, the new league year. That'll be July 6th. Durant was on stage at something called Fanatics Fest, where they jack up prices and get fans to pay exorbitant amounts of money for memorabilia in New York. And the trade was announced, and Durant gave his immediate reaction. He said, being part of the Houston Rockets, I'm looking forward to it, Durant said. Crazy, crazy last couple of weeks, but I'm glad it's over with. Close quote. All right, so let us discuss the question. Kevin Durant headed out of Arizona and headed to the Rockets. At first glance, what stands out? What stands out? So I've got Brat, Instagram, and potluck. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to put the whammy on the zammy, is what we're going to do. So number one. I said number one. So Kevin Durant has done it yet again. Bravo to Kevin Durant. Way to go. As he continues to move locations, outfoxing authorities yet again, one step ahead of the NBA law. Kevin Durant, the all-time master of migration, KD. You never know where he's going to be. You don't really want to learn where he is because it's just going to change. The Slim Reaper, the traveling circus, now heading to the Lone Star State as he will play for the Rockets there. Now, since his days in Oklahoma City, he was in Seattle, they moved to Oklahoma City. Since he left there, Durant has been a brat. He's been like a military brat, moving to a new base in a different state or a different part of America every 3 years or less. That's not my opinion. It's a fact. 3 years in Golden State, check. He went to Brooklyn, 3 years there. One of them hurt from his days in Golden State. 3 years in Phoenix, check. So 9 years, 3 and 3 and 3. And now he goes to Houston. The Maller report card, the only report card that matters on trades, the Maller report card. The Rockets get a B. The Suns get a C. Not an overwhelming trade. Not an overwhelming trade. This didn't get me all excited. I was like, that's fine. Durant's a name. We know who that is. But from a business standpoint, the reason I'm giving the Rockets a B is not because I think Durant is in the peak of his superpowers. He's a diminishing asset. However, from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Durant is still box office. He's got the 15-time All-Star on his resume, the great finals performances with the Golden State Warriors. He's got that. So that moves the needle. So that from the business side of it, for the casual fan, the dumb fan that buys the tickets, the casual is not really a sports fan, but hey, we got this guy named Durant. Let's go buy some tickets. Yeah, he'll bring that. He'll bring some eyeballs. He'll bring some curiosity to see if it actually works this time. It didn't work the last couple times. He put these super teams together in Brooklyn and in Arizona. And so we'll say, well, maybe this time it'll work. This will be different, right? This will be different. And as for Phoenix, they gave up a 37-player, a guy who's going to turn 37 this year, is a declining asset of a player. It's not like they got that much in return. They're mopping the floor, essentially, in a flood is what they're doing here. They swung from the heels with Durant. They whiffed. They didn't get anywhere close to what they thought they were going to be, get anywhere close to where they thought they were going to be. Now, page 2. The Kevin Durant trade to the Rockets, the championship odds on DraftKings next season have gone from plus 1,200 prior to the trade for Houston to plus 750. That means now the Rockets, as a direct result of this trade, now have the second best odds to win the championship next season. Is this an overreaction? Is this an overreaction to the Kevin Durant trade based on the odds on DraftKings? So I'm nodding my head, yes. This is a classic overreaction. It is a defensive move by the books. It's a defensive move because the casuals will see Durant, and he'll be introduced here. They'll hold up the jersey with his name on it, and then there'll be a lot of chatter on social media about Durant and this, that, and the other thing. And so you look at that, you say, okay, here we go. So people are going to toss money on Houston to win the championship, so you have to cover that. And this is a proactive move, not a reactive, a proactive move by the sports books there to cover themselves just in case lightning hits and catches in the bottle there for Kevin Durant in Houston. Does anyone expect that to happen? Raise your hands. No, I don't see anyone raising their hands. So don't hold your breath on that. And here's why. After a minutes-long deliberation on the career of Kevin Durant post-Golden State, Kevin Durant is like an Instagram model. Right? Looks a lot better on your smartphone, right? It looks really good on the smartphone. And then you take all those filters away and you're like, oh man, I mean, it's not that pleasant. You know, it's not bad, but it's just not that there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of deception. There's camera angles. There's makeup. There's clothing option choices. Like all of that and the filters. So it's like an Instagram model. Durant, you put him on there, it looks pretty good. But upon further review, it's like, Durant will get some numbers. He'll score some points. He can still score. And he has proven with Brooklyn, he has proven with Phoenix that his ability to build a super team is lacking. He's got some kryptonite in that area. It is an issue. He is not the final piece to the jigsaw puzzle unless the puzzle includes Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. And spoiler alert, I looked at Houston's roster. They don't have that. So they don't have that. It's going to be electric or explosive or maybe like putting a electronic device in a bathtub. Not a good idea. We're already hearing about the bromance. Oh, what a bromance between Kevin Durant and Ime Udoka that they bonded at some international basketball tournament. I think it was the Olympics. And to that, okay, great. I'm glad they're buddy and all that stuff. I'll believe it when I see it. And it doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. Durant will be judged in the playoffs. That's how this works. Nobody pays attention in the regular season. It's all about what you do in the playoffs. You have to validate yourself in the postseason. So we will not know until next summer. That's it. All right, now, final point. So how are things looking in the Phoenix part of the equation? How are things looking in Phoenix with the haul the Suns got for Kevin Durant? 8 for 1. 8 for 1. So I would not call it a haul. Let's start with that. I would not call it a haul. That is being delusional and overly optimistic to say it's a haul. It just is. This is more of a potluck dinner type situation, right? It's like you got some deviled eggs over here with the Suns. You got some of that. You got a little broccoli salad. Nobody likes broccoli salad, but somebody brought broccoli salad to the potluck, so you've got some broccoli salad over here. And then you've got some chicken casserole over on this side. And then you've got some mac and cheese, and that's all kind of in the middle. It's a quantity play, not a quality play. And Jalen Green was the star of the trade. He just was the star of the trade. He's a very athletic, high-scoring guard. He led the Rockets in scoring last season. He had to be traded. He rode the Vomit Comet to the next level, to the moon and beyond. In that playoff series, when he had one, if I remember correctly, he had one really good game, and the rest of the time it was like less than 10 points. He was gun shy. He froze. They had to trade him. He bought himself a trade. Now, they ended up getting Durant for him. Jalen Green could not come back. That was absolute malfeasance by Jalen Green in the playoffs. He went AWOL. Guilty of going AWOL. They had to get rid of him. And 3 years into his NBA career, I've heard a lot of chatter. Well, that's a great player. Whatever. I mean, the Suns got a super good player. He was the second pick in the draft. But if you look at the numbers here, the basketball reference comps on Jalen Green, his career at this point is similar to Tim Hardaway Jr., not the old man, Tim Hardaway Jr., Rodney McGruger, whoever that is, and Quincy Pondexter. So that's it. Now, Dylan Brooks, now he's a glue guy. Dylan Brooks is a glue guy. He's a pest. He's an instigator from his days in Memphis. His nickname, Dylan the Villain. So he lives up to that. And those guys are nice when you're really about to win a championship. You think you're about to win, and you get a player like that. And we expect Phoenix to re-gift Dylan Brooks and possibly even Green. They're going to have to they got to get rid of Bradley Beal. The guard situation's a mess. Bradley Beal's got a no-trade clause. They got to find a way to unload Bradley Beal to convince him to be traded. So Devin Booker will be there with more empty stats for the Suns. And then you got Dylan Brooks, and he could be traded. But Green's the other one. Green, Devin Booker, and then also the guard Bradley Beal, who put up numbers for the Wizards back in the day. Now, as for Kevin Durant leaving, the argument is this is addition by subtraction, that it just didn't work out and all this stuff. And it is true that the Durant experiment, you don't fault the Suns for going for it. The experiment, though, in hindsight, we didn't say this at the time, but in hindsight, it didn't feel like it was going to work. But in hindsight, it was doomed from the very beginning. The super team that had the chemistry of like a wet sock in a toaster. It just didn't work. And it sounded good. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal as players that could score a lot of points alongside Durant. Durant would open things up for Bradley Beal to shoot three-point shots and for Devin Booker to slash the basket. And then it turned out that they formed a band with 3 solo artists, right? 3 solo artists, and they tried to play a symphony. And it just would not work. The notes did not work. The only thing they orchestrated in 2 seasons was a single first-round playoff elimination. They didn't even make the playoffs this past season. You know how hard it is to not make the playoffs in the NBA? They try to get every team in. They have that Fugazi play-in thing, which is like half the playoffs. The Suns were so bad, they couldn't even get in the postseason. So they made it to 1 postseason. They were swept in 4 games, didn't even qualify this past year. And so now they're going a different direction. They hired some no-name guy as the coach. And so that's where we are.